Yes, people. We are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another Manchester United Liverpool show. Man Them United podcast meets the analysis at Anfield podcast. So please keep all your comments or your questions, Manchester United or Liverpool related. Curtis Jones, as part of the interview, says Arsenal copied the Liverpool celebration. So talking about the fist pumps from Arteta plus more. And we're back here already, and it's not even summer. Longer than the Dragon Ball Z saga. On my life, longer than Frieza fighting Goku on Planet Namek. And like we are back here with the young Rumours. He's been linked, I believe, to Manchester United, also been linked to Arsenal, also been linked to Chelsea as well. So I'm sure you lot will have plenty of questions on that. Big up to everyone who's just joined over from the raid on the Back Again pod as well. Big up Troops, big up Lewis, Months. But make sure you run up the likes, hit the like button on the video, people. Run up the likes. Make sure you share this across all the socials as well. And that's me, Flawless, at Sarcasm City TV on both socials. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV. Road to 10K. So let's get us there, people. Road to 10K. And of course, it's not just me representing Manchester. Well, I'm the only one here representing Manchester United. I got my Don in the building. So very balanced. If my team had the balance that this man possesses, we'd be in a much better situation in the league. My like G is in the building. Yes, G, what are you telling me? You're on mute, fam. You're on mute.
Rookie mistakes. My apologies, man. But yeah, and I'm good, bro. I'm good. First and foremost, let's get this right. That Frieza saga was the longest saga we have ever seen in anime history, because that shit was super long. As in, it took time for Goku to get to Super Saiyan before we even saw any real action. Man, I had to watch Krillin die. Come like then I took that shit was long.
Died and came back. Vegeta died and came back. Yeah,
bro, listen, it was all mad. One of the best series I've ever seen, of course, seasons. But listen, man, good to be here. Nice evening vibes, guys. As he said already, please make sure you're smashing the like button and subscribe. The road to 10K is soon upon us. So let's go, man.
Facts,
How are you?
Facts. 100%. I'm blessed. And just speaking of like back to Dragon Ball Z and Planet, like that was the best. That was the best saga. Planet Namek. They're all fire.
Yeah.
But that one for me was. But people don't understand. It's like, yo, it's not like you can sit and watch that like and just binge watch it. That was half-an-hour episodes. People after school,
bro.
I'm saying that people forget. People don't know that.
People act like they think this is like Netflix today, where I can sit here for like, let's say for example, we weren't streaming all weekend. I can sit here and just binge watch whatever it is I wanted to watch. Bro, you can't do that now, bro. That was you couldn't do that back then. That was as Flawless said, half an hour after school. And bear in mind, Flawless saying half an hour after school, you man are forgetting. You see now with TV, when you watch on Netflix, remember there's no ads. So you're watching that whole through. Bro, this was, it had ads in the mid, it had a break in the middle. I had to go to the toilet, come back real quick. Yeah, you man don't even know the struggle, man. Get out of it. Get out of here.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But big up to everyone that is tapped in, and big up to everyone who was watching the Back Again pod. And Warrior J says, I only saw a few minutes of Back Again since I was busy, but damn, you were blue cards. Yeah, it was hilarious. Shout out to Troops every single time. Big up Sheik says, big up. Eli says, big up Flawless, you crook. Why am I a crook? I don't get it. Big up to Sheik every single time as well. And like I mentioned, that big up to Neil Gunner as well. But like I mentioned at the very start, this is Curtis Jones on the Arsenal celebration. If they want to be stealing our stuff, then it shows that we are on the right path, and we've got them copying us. So yeah, what's your thoughts on Curtis Jones responding to, I can't even say the situation, but just Arsenal celebrating?
Listen, what I always say with these kind of things, don't let these things detract from what really happened. Man, Liverpool lost. We had our ass handed to us in the game. We played shit. Arsenal literally bopped us off the park, give or take, for the 90 minutes. So don't let this kind of stuff detract you from what really happened, you know what I mean, in the game. All this stuff is just sideshow stuff. I get it. We're upset that we lost. I always feel like, you see with the celebration stuff, yeah, I always feel like people always act like you can police certain things. Like you bro, there's no one in charge. There's no authority that's in charge of, yeah, well, you can only celebrate like, no, bro, I understood. At the end of the day, Arsenal beat Liverpool. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like that, and that's going to be whoever it is. If Liverpool beat Manchester City, I'm not saying Klopp's going to be running around or doing a madness, but in the grand scheme of things, in the context of things, you got to understand, for them, it would be a big thing. This is a young team that we're talking about, you know what I mean, with the Sakas, the Martinellis, the Erdegaards-ish. and all these kind of Declan Rice's. Like these guys are like young bulls doing their thing, and they've just got a big wing against their title rivals, and now they're closer in that title race. It's a big thing, man. So if the manager wants to, this might be his way of galvanizing the fans and the players together to then go forward, kind of thing. Like we're all together. That might be his way, because listen, I'm a Liverpool fan, but these times when man was celebrating that flipping 2-2 draw against West Brom, get out of here, man. My man, nobody was complaining. Everyone was like, yeah, man, we're together. Yeah, no one was complaining, bro. So now I see, you know, Liverpool, and I've seen the discourse online. Liverpool fans, you know, getting all irate, and I'm like, bro, chill out, man. Like, you just take the L. Take the L, take the celebrations that come with the L, and we move. Simple as. Whatever you think, whatever your thoughts and feelings on that is, blame the team. Because if the team had just done their job, we wouldn't be having this conversation of, oh, but these lot, they celebrated too. Guess what? You didn't celebrate. You didn't get to celebrate because you played shit in the game. So now we are here in this situation, and it's just those kind of that's what annoys me about defeats. Sometimes I'm like, just take the L. Yeah, like it shows you're it shows you're a bigger person. Just take the L, man. Like I don't care. Like Curtis Jones, he's a young bull himself. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I can understand for him, it might be a little bit like, I guess, annoying, so to speak, you know what I mean, to see people around about his age celebrating in the way that they did. Whether you think it's over exuberant or not, I feel like that's all irrelevant, bro. At the end of the day, you're lost. Take the L. Come make sure on Saturday, tomorrow, you guys are on the other end of things. So you guys can now celebrate the way that you want to celebrate. And then make sure that at the end of the season, you are the one celebrating. That's all you need to worry about, man. It's just one of those things. That's why I've not really liked the fact that the Liverpool players, not Liverpool players, like fans more so, and then Curtis Jones coming out. I'm like, bro, you don't speak for me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, man, just got to take that L and move on. You get what I'm trying to say? So,
and that's what that was my thoughts on it. When people was like, oh, like how they celebrated, they won. They could celebrate however they want. So if they want to, imitate, if Arteta wants to imitate Klopp celebration, cool. If Odegaard with the camera wants to take a picture of the photographer because he's been there for so long. Like I stated, if Odegaard wanted to stay there and take a selfie with every Arsenal fan who was inside the Emirates, guess what? He can do that because they won the game. Simple as that. If you're mad at that as a Liverpool fan, guess what? Be mad at Liverpool. You know what I'm saying? Be mad at Klopp. Be mad at the players, because if Liverpool won, Arsenal cannot do that. And I say that as a Manchester United fan. If anybody celebrates on our ground, guess what? That means they beat us. So therefore, I'm looking at my team and the manager. What did you do? Because they're doing that because of you, because of your shortcomings, and legit, that's what it is. And we was going to get to that because me and you haven't spoke. So I was going to get to this, sorry. Warrior Jason's thoughts on Arsenal 3, Liverpool 1. Was it the worst performance you saw this season? Because me and you have not actually spoke since that game. In terms of entirety, yes. But I've seen our worst half of the season was against Wolves. That's the worst I've seen Liverpool. That was like last year, basically, like last season. That was disgusting. Like I didn't know what was going on. But in terms of entirety of a match, like Flawless will tell you, because I've been here and I've told him, and he knows my feelings on certain things, right? I've told you about Liverpool, and listen, this isn't an overreaction. It's just one game, so it's not that big of a deal. But I've told you about Liverpool performing poorly in games and still getting the 3 points. Of course, that's the only thing that matters. No problem. I've got no beef with that. But I always kept saying to myself, at some point, you're going to not need, because nobody needs, you don't want that to happen, but you're almost going to be in a situation where at some point, you're going to probably get humbled if you carry on trying to just put in performances and then thinking that you can just get a win just because you've got quality players, kind of thing. That's exactly what happened on the Sunday, which is just was not good enough in any aspects of the game. Like like I said, they boxed us off. There was maybe a 10-minute spell after halftime where I would say Liverpool were okay. And when I say okay, they were just better than the first half. They weren't anything special. But outside of that, like I said, Arsenal boxed us off the park. But ultimately, we're still top of the league. We're still ahead of Arsenal at this current moment in time. So that's the only solace that I can take from that game, is that victory didn't do much for them in the grand scheme of things, but you know what I mean, we still lost. We still have to take that L, second defeat of the season against another North London side, you know, so we've just got to put it right against Burnley, which I think we will,
and then just continue on. That's literally it, man. But yeah, it was definitely the worst in terms of entirety that I've seen this season still.
That's fair enough. Hey, that's fair enough. And you lot continue again to get your questions in. Just please keep them Manchester United or Liverpool related. And this joke man, Ryan, who says, give me 15, 20 minutes. The reason why I'm putting in this comment, I have no issue with man being late, man, 15, 20 minutes. It's the fact that I think it was 2 days ago in the group chat, this guy was like, yo, stupid, when's the next pod? You know what I'm saying?
Rudeness, Ryan. Rudeness.
Look, the pod's here, but he's not here. But Ryan will be here in 15 to 20 minutes as you look. I just wanted to point that out. Because this is now, for those that don't know, this is now the new time of the show. 10:30 p.m. UK time on Fridays, you'll get the United Liverpool show. Because on Tuesdays, I now do the United City show with Veta. So shout out to Veta every single time, people. We're always adding shows, adding quality people. Always, like someone said in the chat, hella here we goes on Sarcasm City TV as well. Let's see.
Come on, man.
To Andy says last week reminded me of last season where teams just opened us up with ease. So do you look at it? You mentioned it there already about it just being a one-off. Do you look at it like it's a one-off? We'll bounce back, we'll beat Burnley, and then we'll go on the run because you do have favorable fixtures in the next.
I think that's where we can take the solace. I said that's where we can take the solace from that is because we've got those favorable. I say favorable, but Brentford away is not easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, that's our next game after that. So that could be one of those games where you're like, boy, if you're not on it, yeah, you see Tony and them, man, yeah, they might have something for you in West London. So you got to be careful. But yeah, Burnley up next. I think that's one of those games where you're like, all right, this is the perfect game for you to just get back to playing good performance. Certain players, obviously, we've got a few players missing. Obviously, Konate's suspended for the game. Excuse me. So this is the kind of game where you might not be at full strength, but you'll still be able to get through this game and there not be too many problems kind of thing. And then just get that 3 points so that all the talk of last week, it just gets not erased because it'll still be there, but it's not in recent memory at the very least. Do you know what I mean? And we're still on our path, which is as long as Liverpool win all their remaining games, we're guaranteed to win the Premier League is really the best way to put it. But of course, we know if Man City win their game in hand, they will go top of the Premier League. So just got to take it whilst you can, boy. Yeah, I mean, it's the only people who can the only thing you can blame is Liverpool themselves for not getting that victory against Arsenal. If that's then going to be one of the reasons why we don't win the league, then it is what it is, bro. It's what it is.
Hey, big up my guy Lex in the chat as well. Says, yo, flawless. Big up to you, Lex. I need to shout you actually, Lex, but big up. I message you after this. Let's see what else. Did I miss any more questions as well? And that being said, no, I haven't. But just wanted to get something as well because we kind of mentioned it with Curtis Jones. But what was your reaction to Carragher's response to the Arsenal celebrations? Because he seemed very wound up about it.
This is what I'm saying is that it's you're trying. He even mentioned speaking about someone mentioned him talking about when Jurgen Klopp ran onto the pitch against Everton. When we beat them I think the 18-19 season, Origi scored that last minute goal and he ran onto the pitch and stuff like that. Brother, like, man, talk about a manager running onto a pitch. I know it was a 90th minute whatever winner, but the fact that was so unprofessional in itself. It's not like that was a title deciding moment or that was the last kick of football for the season. Like, we still have bare games after that. He ran onto the pitch. Like, again, nobody said, oh my days, that was over the top. And it was, and this is what I'm saying is if you're going to go that route of trying to police people in what they're trying to say and do, and you're gonna have to stay consistent. So when it comes to these kind of things, you can't, as a Liverpool/Everton fan, whatever he is, you can't then turn around and then be like, oh no, I think that was a bit over the top because we've still got this. But the same thing, and to be honest, Liverpool versus Everton, let's be real, Everton are kind of like our whipping boys anyway. So that was if anything, it was just more to the fact that we played shit that game. In that game itself, just managed to get the victory. This isn't Arsenal bopped us off the park. Like, they played good the whole game. So for them to celebrate in the way that they did, it's just because they are so happy with getting a victory like that. So yeah, man, you just got to remain consistent with these kind of things. You can't, something like this, you have to remain consistent. This ain't one of those flip-flop ones where with time you can change your mind. Nah, this is, bro, you said it was calm before, so you got to continue saying it's calm when someone else who isn't your manager, or isn't the manager of the team that you support, does the exact same thing. And again, that's why I say with the fans and including the pundits, even Gary Neville, anybody who's spoken on it, that's why I'm just like, bro, let all that die, man. Like, I'm not trying to hear that. I like, sometimes just take the L and move, bro. You don't need to go on and on. Liverpool fans are bringing out, oh yeah, this is our song, and That's like, wow, I'm like, are you not serious? Like the thing is, you know, the maddest thing about these kind of conversations and these type of debates, if we really wanted to go into these kind of conversations, it will start getting embarrassing for everybody. And I mean every fan base, because there was an originator of something. So when it comes to chants and songs, like music, you do music, so you will know straight off the bat. You know as well as anybody, beats and all of these kind of things, they all originate from something.
Absolutely.
Like they're always, as we hear it with, say, some artists today, they'll sample a beat or a hook or whatever from a song that was out in 1972. But because you may have just never heard it yourself, some old school thing. Maybe you just never heard it before, but then you'll hear it and then they might talk about it later on, or someone might mention it. Like, oh, he took that sample from Michael Jackson, or he took that sample from whoever, kind of thing. But you just didn't know because they've revamped it now, and that's exactly what every football club does. That's all they do. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, man, like I said, take the L, we move, beat Burnley this weekend, we're back on track, and then everyone can just be happy, and we'll put that Arsenal defeat just where it was, which was, it was a really bad day at the office, and that's just what it is.
Like you said, it's the originated. Like when you really go back, everyone is gonna look stupid because music's a prime example of that, and that's not just in the instrumental. That's in bars and how people rap. Right now, people. If I tell you who my idols are and who I'm influenced by, and you hear me rap, you'll be able to hear their influence. Like obviously, you just don't take a flow, or you just don't take a rhyming pattern or a cadence from somebody, but you will be influenced, and then you'll put that's what I do. I put my own spin on it. Like people who I listen to, I'm big fans of. I'll be like, oh, I see what he did there. All right, let me do that, and then put my own spin on it. And the thing is, even the greats have done that. They've spoken on that, like in depth, where they'll be like, oh, I'm such a fan of such and such. You hear it, you go, I can see the influence, and it's the same with football as well. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't. Hassan Man said Eminem, and that's no. The M influence is there though. If you hear me rhyme, you'll know why. Obviously. Do it nowhere near to the level of M, because when it comes to actual rhyming words and breaking stuff down, like it's crazy. Because I've listened to M, and I was listening to him as a kid, and now I listen to him as an adult. I'm like, geez, like the way he like he mastered that in 2001. A style people are still trying to master now in 2024.
Today. Yeah.
Like when I still listen to Criminal and I listen to that last verse, I'm like, that is genius.
Just to go off the topic of football for a second.
Yeah, we can talk music. It's all good.
It come like and to be honest, I learned this more from my boys because they listen to Bone Thugs and Harmony. If you listen to the Migos, that's the same thing. They're literally the exact same. When you actually go back through the Migos' catalog, you'll actually hear it's like almost identical. I think they've even had like a back and forth before the Migos and Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Know that.
Yeah, and this is it. You wouldn't know because in your mind, even if you've heard, say, Bone Thugs and Harmony and Migos, if you've just heard them separately, you wouldn't really put the two and two together. But they would have gotten their flow, the way that they rhyme, all of that from Bone Thugs and Harmony, all that harmonizing stuff they got from Bone Thugs and Harmony. And then again, of course, they're putting their own spin to it. They're doing their own kind of thing. Because why? Because again, there's an originator of something. And at the end of the day, when you're listening to music and then you then decide to do music or whatever, if you're playing football, for prime example, you're going to take, I don't know, let's say prime example, I love Lionel Messi as an example, right? I love Lionel Messi. So when I'm playing football, of course, I am not even a quarter or a third of what this guy is about. Of course not. Otherwise, I won't be sitting here with Flawless right now chatting about Messi. You know what I'm saying? I'll be out here. You might be watching me. But when I play the game of football, there will be similarities that I will try, or there'll be things I'll be trying to emulate from him. Whether it's the little things like the way he touches the ball, the way he dribbles, the way I stand when I'm running with the ball, whatever it may be, all of these things you'll try and take, and then I'm putting my own spin on it. And of course, trying to see, the end result for that. So that's the same thing with this whole chanting thing. And when, Jamie Carragher's talking about it and stuff like that, I'm like, bro, but we could really get into this, and trust me, it will actually start getting really embarrassing. Hence why I always tell people, keep quiet and listen more. Listen more before you start speaking, because once you start speaking, you then sound really, really silly because you've not got no basis of whatever that is that you're trying. This isn't a thing where like Ronaldo made that celebration up where he obviously jumped up in the air and then he does his thing, right? The suit. Everyone now copies. People have now copied the suit. So guess what? The originator was from Ronaldo. Now everybody else is just now copying him. But these times, if you didn't know that Ronaldo was the one doing it, and you just in your mind you think, I wanted to do that.
The crazy part is, it's going to become a point when 5 years from now, someone's going to sue and people are not going to know that was original.
They're not going to know. Exactly.
People legit are not going to know. They're not, and that's not a shot at the younger generation, because you just won't know until me or G or somebody else older goes, oh, Ronaldo did that first. Kind of like the sticking with music and kind of going to wrestling. John Cena with the "You Can't See Me."
Yes, yeah.
That's for those that don't know. I'm G Unit, my favorite click of all time. That's from Tony Yale. But most people, obviously, John Cena was, you know what I'm saying, like one of the biggest wrestling stars and one of the most well-known people. If most people see "You Can't See Me," they think John Cena. I see it and think Tony Yale. However, John Cena said it himself. He came out and paid homage and said it was from Yale. It was a G Unit thing, type of thing.
See,
like, that's where it stands from.
And it's like I said, these kind of debates and stuff like that. This is the big man thing.
Youngsters, big man thing. 5 years, if Garnacho keeps doing the Sue, youngsters are gonna be like, oh, that's the Garnacho. What?
And remember, you got to think, like, prime example. You got to think, my son's 4 years old, right?
Yeah.
So let's say he's only just starting to watch like football and like really just kind of get it, right? So he don't know Ronaldo. He don't know who the hell Ronaldo is. Of course he don't know. I was watching Ronaldo when he was young. So he don't know who Ronaldo is. So by the time, say my son is 10 in 6 years time, right? As you said, by that time, and Garnacho will be, I don't know how old he is now, so whatever he'll be in 6 years time.
Mid-20s.
Right?
He'll be like mid-20s.
And he's still doing that suit. As Hussam said, he'll look at it and be like, oh, this celebration is cold. You know, what the Garnacho celebration. But these times, Garnacho might even change the name of it just because like he's now the one doing it. Now he's changing it. My son will always be under the impression I'm doing the Garnacho, whatever he wants to call it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Not knowing, brother, the Garnacho, bro. Ronaldo been doing this since you was born. This is before you was born, bro. You don't even know. And it's just those kind of little things, man. It's those little things.
Nah, it's definitely like that.
Yeah, big up Lipshay. Big up Lipshay. He's the one. Yeah, they stole Bone Thugs' flow for sure. I told you.
And then that's where it stems in, like, to me, if you're influenced by someone, pay homage. I say this all the time.
But that's what Migos didn't do, though. That's why they got into back and forth, because they didn't want to pay homage. So when I can't remember who it was from Bone Thugs was.
Did someone say something? Did someone say something about it? Someone from Bone Thugs said something about it.
Yeah, they tried to say like, right, like, I'm not asking for you to. I don't want to check from this. I'm just saying, just when people are asking you about music and stuff like that, and where you take your inspiration from, just pay the homage, because we can all hear it. Just pay homage, but you don't want to do that. And then now it sounds like you're being salty because you're trying to remember you're the old guy. So it sounds like you're hating on the new generation, and it's like, nah, it's not that. It's not that.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at with it. Is all I say is pay homage. You know what I'm saying? Because even in this content creator space, you lot will hear me say and pay homage to certain people. I say all the time, for those that don't know, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Aaron United, shout out to Aaron every single time. He put me on. That's my guy. I state this all the time. That's why no one can't tell me nothing bad about him. He was the one who gave me a shot, first and foremost, and brought me into this space. Now, there's been other people who have helped tremendously. Lewis is another one. He's the first non-Manchester United content creator to say bless. So that's why Lewis is like always nothing but love for him. And then there's others who have helped me out, of course, Troops, Rants, etc., etc. The list goes on. But yeah, man, pay homage. That's why I never say to people who I brought on here and helped out, oh, you must say such and so. Just say, yeah, Flawless helped me out, man. Salute to him. Yeah,
real. Literally, let that.
That's it. I don't ask for no money, no nothing. Whatever success you have.
And that's all it is. That's all it is from people. But Flawless, man, we already know, man. We know how some people stay. We know how some people act and behave. So it's honestly, it's just one of those things. I wanted to ask you a question though, but we'll get into the questions. It was just about Manchester United. But
now, if you got a question about United, I'm starting all the best questions, people. But to make sure we get to your question, obviously super chat and we'll get to it. But yeah, go on, G. Ask me the question. It's all good.
No, I was going to ask you. Obviously, you guys, who's he beat? Did he beat West Ham? Was it 3-0?
Yeah, beat West Ham 3-0. Yeah, beat West Ham
3-0. Obviously, I think we spoke after the Maino goal against Wolves.
After the Wolves game.
So, and obviously, we were talking. Remember, it's funny because we were talking like you were saying about it will be so Manchester United to then go into that West Ham game, lose or something like that, and blah blah blah. Yeah. Obviously, now that you've that game's been and done, and you won 3-0, quite comprehensive. How are you looking? It's only 2 games. I know it's difficult, and I'm not asking for God's answer, but just with how you played that game. Firstly, how did you think you played that game? But secondly, do you hope that you can maybe take something from those last two games and then that could be a building block? Is there anything that's helped or changed in style of play, players, or whatever in those last couple games where you can say, all right, because we've got such and such here or doing this role, we can keep it moving for the future?
Yeah, it was a good game. So in regards to the West Ham game, good performance. Easily one of our better performances of the season. Very few games I've watched Manchester United this season. I've watched every single game we played in every single competition. I felt an element of control. I felt an element of calmness. I felt an element of we've got this. And that's testament to how we played. West Ham were poor, but we took full advantage of that. And that's what I've been saying all season long. If teams don't play well against us, take advantage of that. And take advantage of them not being at their best. And for West Ham, we did that, scored 3 goals. All well and good. In regards to the change in the form, he's gone back to last season with the double pivot. I've been screaming about, I said it all season long, play a double pivot. And now you've got Maino and Casemiro, 2 players of quality there. You see a massive, all of a sudden now we look much more defensively solid. All of a sudden, Onana's not the talking point. And don't get mistaken, Onana can make a mistake at any point because he's not good enough. But it's a team game, cover up deficiencies. We know our goalkeeper's not good. Our defenders individually are not that good, and we're now no longer good as a unit. But all of a sudden, you play a double pivot, and lo and behold, we're tougher to break down. And Casemiro and Maino, it's not like they've been 9, 10 out of 10. They've played, don't get mistaken, they've played well. They've been 6, 7, 8 out of 10 in different games. And ironically, we did it away at Liverpool, home to Villa, away at Arsenal. Yes, we won one of those games, drew one, lost one, but forget results, performances. Everyone, when we came to your place for United, myself included, pick a number. Any number 4 and above, pick a number. United are going to lose that game. He had to play a double pivot because they were the only midfielders available. All of a sudden, we look better defensively. Villa, even though we were 2-0 down, can't remember who played in the pivot. It was Maino and someone else. Might have been Amrabat, maybe Casemiro. I'm on the watch along going, we've actually done all right here, and we'll turn this around at 2-0 down. And we don't score goals. Obviously, we ended up winning the game. Arsenal, which we lost. We conceded 2 goals in stoppage time.
It was Maino and Eriksen.
Yeah, it was Maino. There we go. Maino and Eriksen. So 2 players again that are competent. Same way with Maino and Amrabat away at Anfield. 2 players that are competent. Same way Casemiro and Eriksen, which worked so much last year when we played Arsenal, but it worked last year. Competent. And we conceded 2 last-minute goals. Yeah, Arsenal deserved the win. Not saying that. I'm talking from a defensive and structure standpoint. So we can build up. So we did well. Hopefully he continues with that. Now, in regards to, yes, we have something to build on, but people have said if we turn the corner, these next 4 to 5 games will tell me because we play Aston Villa away, we play Luton away, we play Fulham at home, Forest away in the FA Cup, then Manchester City away. So 4 out of our next 5 games are away from home. Yeah, go on, G. Go on.
No, I was going to say, if you don't mind just beating Villa, like, if that's all right, like I'm not worried about Villa, but you don't want to give people like any reason to be excited. Fans start getting all happy in that, and then now all of a sudden trying to go to Villa Park is all mythical and that. Like, no. I need you guys to go there, humble them. Maino, say my Ghana name, brother. You know what I mean? I beg you, just pattern up something for me, bro. Pattern up something. Speaking of that, just quickly, speaking of a big up Ryan, by the way.
Big up Ryan in the cut as well.
Speaking on that, I see bare people talking about. There's 2 things. One, I see bare people say, why isn't Maino? And by the way, I love the surname Maino. I don't know. It just reminds me of the rapper. But
it reminds me of the rapper. And Uncle Murder, one of my favorite rappers. So
literally.
I'm a big Uncle Murder fan. Go on.
One, people keep saying, why isn't Maino obviously put up for the Premier League Player of the Month? Where I don't know if you agree that he should have been put up for Player of the Month. But secondly, I see people talking about, obviously, we know England Euros is coming up this summer, and with the England squad, midfielders and stuff like that, we already know England have got maybe Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham. If you count Trent, then put Trent in there as well. I think that's about it in terms of good midfielders. Outside of that, the rest are Calvin Phillips and Jordan Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson and them guys. And big up Saint every single time, man. Large up Saint.
Big up Saint, man. All these dead midfielders basically after that. Do you think if Maino was to perform between now and the end of the season, would there be an outside chance that he could potentially make it as one of those surprise call-ups?
He should. But we know who's in charge. He should. Me, you, Ryan, the rest of the chat can clearly see. Even if you don't have him starting, and we'll get to that in a second, Maino should be in that squad. Because England, that's one of the areas that they are weakest in when it comes to 6s and 8s. And in particular, people who can do defensive work. Yes, you've got Bellingham. Yes, you've got Rice. Yes, you've got Maddison. Yes, you've got Foden. Yes, you've got Grealish. The list goes on in regards to people who can play at 8/10 and go forward. And all the players I just named there, very, very good players. Do not get mistaken. But alongside a Rice, for example, you look at, you mentioned Henderson, not good enough. Calvin Phillips, not good enough. James Ward-Prowse, I think, should be in the squad, but shouldn't be starting. To me, Maino and Rice makes the most sense. You look at it from a ball. The only thing you can say it lacks on Maino's part is experience. But then again, Rice's experience. Rice has played easily. What is it? Probably a couple hundred Premier League games. He's been in the Premier League, 4 or 5 years now? He's been in the Premier League like 5 decades. Is it like not 5 decades? Sorry, 5 years or something like that. I'm going to double check that. But Rice has been around a long enough time, and then you've got Maino, and then you've got experience all around Maino. Let's say it's a Stones. You know what I'm saying? Let's say it's a Stones. Let's say it's a Trent. Let's say it's a Luke Shaw. Experience all around him. Like, what are we talking about? So to me, Maino and Rice with Bellingham or with Maddison makes the most sense. Will Southgate play that? No, I would not be surprised to see Calvin Phillips, Jordan Henderson. This guy's still flying out to watch Jordan Henderson. Yeah, how long's Declan Rice been in the league?
This is his 8th season in the Premier League.
Oh, so I was well off. So he's been 8. He's more than experienced enough to help out. Almost a decade to help out Maino. And then, like I said, you put a Stones, a Kyle Walker, Trippier, Trent, whoever. They've all been in the Premier League for long enough. Then you've got Harry Kane, you've got Sterling, you've got Maddison. The list goes on with experience around him. So yeah, in regards to Maino, to me, I'm probably being a little bit biased, but yeah, you should start. Yeah, to Warrior J asking about Curtis Jones. When I've seen him play, he's played well for Liverpool. Should definitely be in the shout for a squad. I've been impressed. I can go as far to say I've been impressed with him, Curtis Jones. I've actually when I've watched him. But
no, I agree.
It's on Southgate, and we all know Southgate's gonna mess it up because England got the best team at the Euros. They got the best squad. They got the best team. You know, I think that the only team that's, I won't even say close to them, but it's close to them in terms of the individual quality is France. Because to me, with Mbappe, you got the best. With Mbappe, you have the X factor. You got the best player in the tournament, and if he turns up on 10, France win that tournament. However, I think overall, when I look at 11s and I look at the squads, I go England. I'm saying you're going to say in Portugal stacked. I don't think as stacked as England.
I think Portugal a good 11, but outside of that,
I don't think it's stacked. I wouldn't go as far to say Portugal stacked. I wouldn't say Portugal stacked. Like, I put it this way: if I was an England fan, which I'm not, just to clarify, people, I wouldn't swap England. I wouldn't swap England's team for Portugal. I wouldn't say give me that. Looking at England's team, all that attacking talent, all that attacking prowess that you have in there. When you think about it,
that tells you everything you need to know about England. That tells you everything you need to know about England's history. Is that? And listen, I don't want to sound rude. I know a lot of people support England. I don't really care about England like that. But England have been bums for years, bro. Like, there's no way that you've had all of these sick teams. We're talking the golden generation, the Gerrards, Lampard, Scholes, Rio Ferdinand, John Terry, David Seaman in goal, old school, David Beck, like Alan Shearer, Michael Owen, Wayne Rooney. Like, bro, the list goes on.
You know what the crazy part is about that, though, G? Sorry to cut you off. When they were calling them the golden generation, and they were exceptional. Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard, Owen, Rooney, Ashley Cole, Rio, Camp, cold. But like Paul Scholes said to Gary Neville on the overlap, you see Brazil's team. If we were the golden generation, what were they? Platinum. They got Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, and Kaká over there. They are 3 of the best players we've ever seen on the planet. What are we talking about?
It's actually it's actually bad when I come to think about it. Yeah.
When you think about the team that Brazil, like that England, if you put that golden generation now, cool, but like then it's like, yeah, they could have been equipped better and had a better manager and better performances. But look at some of them front sides that won. You know what I'm saying? Man, got Vieira, Zidane, Petit, Henry, and
you know what's so mad? we're talking about France and obviously, Brazil. Yeah, those are like,
Mm.
bro, I'm even talking about like other teams who are out. Like Italy had a good team back in the days. Like some of these teams had such, you're right, actually. Yeah. If England had a golden generation, these men must have had double platinums in certain cases
Yeah,
because, yeah, it's
double
mad.
platinum and diamond. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? These
for
man
real.
went triple diamond. And that's not a shot at England, but Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, and Kaká is a cheat code. And it's just those three alone. That is just the cheat code. Hey, but over 100 people here. Don't know how many likes were on, but it's not enough. Run up the likes, people. Like, check 1212. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. Make sure you subscribe to G's channel, people. The link is in the title. So you click the link, it opens up a new tab, people, as well. I believe it's on the feature channel page. I believe it's underneath in the description as well. If it's not, I'm going to add that. And that'll be on every live stream, not just the one G's are on, just in general. But like I said, link is in the title, people, as well. I think Ryan is here. Yo, Ryan, you there? I think he's here.
Yeah, man, yeah.
There we go. You know what I'm saying? What are you saying, fam? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, bless. Oh, bless. We're going to get to some of the comments as well, people. Big up to Hassam trolling, says clickbait title, like the video, even though Curtis Jones actually said this verbatim. We don't do clickbait over here. I'll leave that to you, Mr. This is Football as well. Hey, and to Lex, who says, I've been watching a couple shows with Mo. Can't believe how fraudulent he is. I'm thinking here you're talking about Judge Mo. Shout out to Judge Mo, because that's my guy. Mo's very intelligent. He knows what he's doing, man. That's why I call him that's why I call him an elite troll. He's elite. Mo knows exactly what he's doing. Because he's very, very intelligent and he knows his stuff. He knows, man, how to get a reaction from fan bases, whether that's Manchester United, whether that's Arsenal, whether that's Liverpool, whether that's Chelsea. So shout out to Mo. Yeah, go around. What were you saying?
Oh, I was saying Judge Mo's corrupt, innit? Like, that's like a corrupt judge, innit? You know what he is, yeah? You know what corrupt judge is, yeah? He's the best content creator I have ever seen at playing Devil's Advocate.
Yeah. I legit called him that.
Seen at doing that.
You know what I'm saying? 100%. I said lose that. I said lose Judge Mo. I'm gonna just call you damn. You know what I'm saying? Devil's Advocate Mo. That's you.
No, genuinely, he's the best I've ever seen at doing it.
Yes,
100%.
Yes, and you got to realize with Mo and big up Mo, man, because
you lot subscribe to Judge Mo's channel as well.
Mo's he knows a lot about football.
Like, his knowledge
his knowledge is top notch. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So even I'm listening to Mo anytime on his stream or on other streams, when I see him on there, I'm always like, yeah, I know Mo's gonna say something that will get my brain thinking. Do you get it? I love listening to people like that anyway, in a general sense. So I'm like, you know what? I never even looked at it like that.
Yeah,
maybe got a point. Maybe got a point in what you're saying, kind of thing. But very, very, very smart guy, man. So yeah,
extremely. Like I said, and because he's extremely knowledgeable about the game like that, that's why he can then do the devil's advocate thing, and then he can then back it up because he knows a lot. But some of the time he'd be saying stuff, and I'm like, even the clip of him laughing about Arsenal, you know what I'm saying, when he asked, it was LB City and Sam, and he was like, can Arsenal win the league? And he was cracking up. But when I said that 2 months ago on his channel when I was there, man didn't want to hear it. It's like, Mo, you know Arsenal can't win the league. Why is it wild when I say it? But now you're there creasing, you know what I'm saying, tears rolling down your face as you're laughing about Arsenal title race. And this is Arsenal coming off of just beating Liverpool. So this is Arsenal title race back on Arsenal. So and I put quotation marks in this. And it's like, why can't they win it? Because look at the quality of the side. It's got a clear lack of quality. That's why you wouldn't put money on it. And he shout out to Dan Potts, because we was on the stream there today. Big up to Dan Potts every single time. And he said, I won't put money on it. I said, you put someone else's money on it though. When he started laughing, I was like, yeah, you would put someone else's money on Arsenal winning, not your own, no. I joke.
Yeah. I don't really is.
But yeah, man, shout out to Mo every single time as well. But Ryan, your thoughts, because we haven't spoke in regards to the whole celebration thing. So Carragher, what he stated with Odegaard taking a picture of the cameraman, Curtis Jones saying Arsenal copied Liverpool's celebration. Thoughts, Ryan? Chat to us.
No, I mean, look, you can understand why Arsenal celebrated like they did. You could understand it. It was a massive game for them, you know. So, you know, they have the right to celebrate how they want, innit? Would I personally think a City would celebrate like that, or a Liverpool would celebrate like that if they're in the same scenario? Probably not, in it. But like, I don't know. I think Carragher probably articulated what he said wrong, but I kind of understand where he was coming from. But I actually think Neville was the one who, believe it or not, I actually agreed with the most about it. And what I agreed with Neville is the fact that he never said that Arsenal were wrong to do it. What he said is he thinks it showed a worrying sign, essentially, about how they celebrate showed a worrying sign in terms of the way they celebrate so emotionally and how everything maybe showed a kind of still a weak mentality there. And I think he's right, to be honest with you. When you're celebrating like that in, what was it, February? It's February, isn't it? That game was still obviously in February, it's only a few days
Yeah.
ago. When you're celebrating as crazy as that, what it shows to me is that you're way too emotional. That team is way too emotional. And Gary Neville was right in terms of probably still a bit immature as well, celebrating as wildly like that in February after one game. When nothing's won at the end of the day, you're still third in the table. I think Neville was right in terms of showing it's still kind of an immaturity about him, a kind of they're too emotional. When I've always said I've said this for a while about Arsenal, is that they're too emotional as a team. You can see that by the way they celebrate as well, and the way they act during games, how animated they get. And for me, that just shows a wrong mentality, because when you get to those pressurized games, yeah, it's great being emotional, it's great being motivated and everything. Of course, that's brilliant. But for me, they don't handle it in the right way in terms of what that also does is increase the chances of you bottling it at the end of the day, in my opinion. When you're too emotional, that increases the chances of you bottling it and making wrong decisions in crucial games. So that's where I actually agreed with Neville. At the end of the day, this whereas the City and the Liverpool, they kind of act more kind of cool about it. Yeah, they'll celebrate, but it's a bit more kind of cool, calm, and collected, not too emotional. Do you get what I mean? So I would be a bit worried if I was an Arsenal fan seeing the way they did celebrate like that, to be honest with you, because for me, that increases the chances of you bottling it in further games. But I might be wrong in it. People might disagree. I don't care. That's just my opinion, to be honest. But I think Carragher, I don't necessarily agree with what Carragher said, but I actually understand where he was coming from. But I think Carragher was a bit salty and unhappy because obviously he's seen his team lose a big game at the end of the day. So I think he was a bit salty and he articulated it wrong. But I actually agreed more with Neville. Like, if I was an Arsenal fan, I would be a bit worried about how those players did celebrate a bit, to
So
be
let me
honest.
ask you then, Ryan, if Liverpool beat Arsenal in like say that game, or say it was the reverse victory, it was at Anfield and you win, and you seen you lot celebrate like that, would you feel the same? And let's say Ian Wright, for example, because he's ex-Arsenal, responded in that fashion, and Klopp was mimicking Arteta, and Curtis Jones was taking a picture of the Liverpool cameraman. Would you feel the same about it?
The picture, I mean, I think I'd be a bit worried about how my players are celebrating, just because it's a game still so far away from the end of the season. There's still a long way to go. I could understand if it was a proper title deciding game at the end of the season, where if you win, that is such a big game to win. That puts you in such a good position for the title. This game took Arsenal, kept them in third. It didn't really, they're in a better position than what they were, but they're still not in any pole position to win a league. There's still a long way to go. Personally, if that was my team, I wouldn't like my players celebrating as wildly like that. I'd like my players celebrating like Klopp with his fist bumps. He's been doing that for years, so that's nothing different at the end of the day to me.
Mhm.
But like, I wouldn't. I would be a bit like, oh, is it? Are you man really celebrating as wildly as that for a game in February? That
Do
really,
you think?
there's still a
Do
long
you
way
do
to
you
go. But I
do you
understand why
think?
Arsenal celebrated like that, because it was a big game for them at the end of the day. It was the chance they had to win it to stay in the title race. But for me, I just for me, them celebrating as crazy as that, they have the right to do what they want. I've said that, but at the end of the day, I'd just be a bit worried about what sort of mentality that shows what the players have, in my opinion. So that's what it
Do
is
you
to me.
do you think, Ren? Yeah, because the thing I don't even disagree. Again, I hear both sides, but I do think, as YG just said, I do think people are maybe over
Okay.
analyzing it a bit too
No,
much. But do you
I don't
think?
think Carragher should have said what he said. Put it that way. I actually think, like I said, I think Neville was the one who articulated it the best.
Do you think the reason why is because I think context is also key as well. Forget this game was in Feb or whatever. Obviously, you beat your title rivals, it's going to be big, so you're going to celebrate maybe more than you would in a normal game that's in against Burnley, for example. I don't see Arsenal celebrating like that against a team like Burnley. But do you think it's because they're a team? Remember, they haven't really won anything recently. They're in another title race. Fans are excited. Players are excited. They've beaten a Liverpool team, which they don't do often. I know they did last season, but that's when we were shit. They don't beat us often. kind of thing. And that's not to caveat. At the end of the day, we lost that game, so there's nothing we can say. But they've beaten us. Like I said, young team, still, still trying to do their thing. Trying to potentially win a Premier League title and get themselves that first trophy, big trophy under Mikel Arteta. Do you think maybe it's a little bit of that? So, in one sense, naivety potentially, but then also understandable because, as you say, they've beaten a title rival. At the end of the day, beating Liverpool, people are going to get gassed about it. They're going to talk about it, and it puts them only 2 points behind us, on the same games played kind of thing. But yeah, that was really my only question.
Like I said, bro, I said before, I completely understand why Arsenal celebrated like that. I said it, I completely understand it. It was a big game at the end of the day for them. I'm just saying that if that was, if that was my place in that position, I genuinely wouldn't like to see my players celebrate as wildly as that in a game like that in February. Like I said, I could understand it at a game in like April, May, which is a proper title deciding game. This is still so early on in the season that. And look, people are saying Klopp did it against Everton. Bro, I'll stand by. I didn't like it when Klopp did it that time as well. I was gassed with that win. But, bro, when Klopp was running on the pitch and everything, I didn't like that. I thought, bro, it's in December. You've beaten, let's be honest, I know there are rivals, our local rivals. It's the derby at the end of the day. So I get it's a bit different. There's a different kind of emotion in that at the end of the day. But I still didn't like Klopp celebrating like that. Yeah, it was a last-minute goal. I think it was the 95th, 96th minute. But yeah, you're running on the pitch for a game in December. I didn't like that. I'll be honest with you. Like, I'll keep the same energy at the end of the day. I didn't like that. So, but then at the end of the day, we kind of repaid that we kind of showed that we're still a good team because we ended up winning the Champions League that season and then the Prem the next season. But with Arsenal, I don't know, man. They're definitely. I've said this for a while. Arsenal are definitely massively motivated to win this title, but I just feel they're a bit too emotional, and at times they just might not handle that in the right way. Because when you're too emotional as a team, that increases the chances of you bottling it. In my opinion, City are obviously the best at. City are motivated, but they also are very calm. They're cool, calm, and collected. They handle their emotions correctly in it at the end of the day. With Arsenal, we saw that they don't last season, and at the times this season, I just see them being a bit too emotional and animated during games, man. Like, I just don't think they have the right mentality to go on and win the title. That's just my opinion. They might prove me wrong. Like, let's just see what happens in it. But I understand. I understand why they celebrated like that the other day. I don't begrudge them that celebration. Carragher actually begrudged them that celebration because he was salty about it. I don't begrudge Arsenal that celebration. I'm just saying that for me, if I was an Arsenal fan, the way they celebrated would be a bit of a worry to me in a way. But I don't begrudge them the celebration. They massively deserve to win. They battered us at the end of the day.
No, that's fair enough. That's very very fair. And let me know in the chat. I haven't started, but Warrior J mentioned something about Warrior Era. I got to it. Big up to Warrior J. Says Justin De Jong has given the green light to leave Barcelona this summer, but that's from at Managing Barca on Twitter. So I'm not sure how reliable that is, but keep us posted in the chat if there is any developments in the longest ongoing football saga in recent memory. It definitely feels that way, like 110%. And Warrior J goes on to say, and we'll go to UG. Thoughts on the Thiago injury again? So Thiago only just came back injured now, hamstring. Thoughts?
Listen, I said to my boy, big up Jimbo, if you're watching. I said this already. Thiago, I put man in that Oxlade-Chamberlain bracket where I'm just like, you see them kind of guys, like I've moved past whatever you bring to this football team. So I don't actually care whether you're here or not here. Like, if you're here, great. That's great. I mean, he's obviously a better version of Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's a fantastic player. But the team has moved past whatever you bring to the team, wherever that is. So whether it's the shimmies, the stepovers and all of that stuff, I've moved past that. I don't care about that anymore. Like, I actually do not care what you bring to the team, because what you bring to the team isn't like pivotal to what I need the team to do. You ain't Kevin De Bruyne where, yo, if this brother comes back, yeah, it's curtains for everybody. Or I'm not saying that that's guaranteed, but just that's how you look at it. Kevin De Bruyne came back. What's the brother on now? Like 2 goals, 3 assists, or whatever it is. Like, it's done because he's so good and he's so pivotal to what Manchester City do. He's not pivotal to what Liverpool do at all. Like, at all. Man could have not have signed Thiago, and we would have done the exact same things that we have done. So that's not to slight Thiago, because he is a fantastic player when he is fit. But that also tells me that the team, Jurgen Klopp included, have been able to, yeah, we don't need you. You're just a very, very good bonus when you are available, which is great. But you're so unavailable, I don't care about you like that anymore. Great player. I'll never, when we talk about just player in terms of ability, man can't chat to me about that, them kind of players there. Dope. But when we're talking about ability, availability and stuff like that, I don't care about Thiago like that. Like I said, Oxlade-Chamberlain settings where I forget that you're even a part of the team half the time. Someone even mentions your name. I'm like, oh yeah, what number is he again? Oh yeah, he's number 6. Oh shit, I forgot about that. Like, that's the type of feeling I have towards him, because you've proven to me that you're not reliable, and I do not want any player at the football club who isn't reliable. I'm sorry, like you're not. Like I said, you're not Kevin De Bruyne. You're not Lionel Messi, where I need you back into this team because you're just going to make my team go up 10 notches. You're not that guy. So guess what? If you left in the summer, thank you for the very little that you did here, but you are a waste of money. You are a flop at the football club. Great. And again, I'll keep reiterating, great player. Like, on his day, this brother is balling like no tomorrow, but you're not here enough. So I don't really respect him like that for his Liverpool time anyway, where I'm like, yeah, that's the one that got away. We should have just kept him. Nah, I'll be so happy to see the back of Thiago. Like, so happy. That's 200 bags a week. And we're just wasting it on a guy who's been out for since April of last year. Man came on, kicked the ball for 10 minutes. And then, you know what made it worse? I've got the flipping guys on Twitter trying to school man on anatomies, and I said, bro, shut up, man. Man's not even trying to hear any of that stuff. Listen, man did sports science when I was in school and when I was in university, but man understands how the body works to some degree. I'm not an expert at it, but to some degree. I'm not hearing any of that, because I've also seen players come back from that same kind of injury and not have to be then injured for another couple of weeks after 5 minutes where he touched the ball 10 times in that 5-minute spell. And you're telling me that, because he did this and these times I've got Klopp telling everybody, nah, bro, he's fantastic in training. Like, he was all right. Bro, get out of here, man. Like, I'm tired of this Thiago thing. He's been a flop. Man, because I get more vexed about this situation is because, and big up KLFC, because people will get onto Naby Keita, get on to Naby Keita. Oh, this brother was like made out of Weetabix, but nobody wants to talk about Thiago. Like, everyone's like, yeah, but he's a luxury player. I'm like, first of all, explain what a luxury player is, because even the term luxury player just sounds dumb. So you mean to tell me every club buys a player who they just use
barely plays?
Who barely plays. What? So man just wasted money? Come on, man. Like, this kind of stuff is silly, bro. Like I said, Thiago, the player, fantastic, and I won't hear slander of him as a player because he is so dope. But when we're talking about his time at Liverpool, get out of here. The brother has been a flop. A man, you'll see on Twitter, or even just people talking, they'll talk about one season, which is the year that we won the double, right? FA Cup and League Cup. They'll talk about that for time. Man will show me highlights. Oh, look what he was doing. And I'm just like, man's been here for 3 seasons, and you can only pick one season out of 3. So that's even less than half. Yeah, get out of him, but I'm not trying to hear that. I don't want to know about Thiago, bro. Honestly, like, he's gone. He's gone.
Ryan, what are you saying in regards to Thiago being injured again?
I couldn't agree more with G, actually. G was spot on, bro. And I'm actually going to be a bit harsh, bro. I think G was a bit kind at times to him there, Look, bro, G was a bit kind. You know what it is, yeah? You know what it is with this guy? You know me. I'm a massive Thiago fan as a player at the end of the day. I was gassed when we signed him. But, bro, he's a massive flop. Massive flop. Because I'm not only going to bring the injuries. The injuries is the biggest thing, obviously. Like, the guy can't stay fit to save his life. I wasn't even, like, heartbroken when I heard the news the other day or anything, like, that he got injured. I was like, okay, like, yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, but we've shown that we can absolutely be fine without him at the end of the day. But he's played 12, I don't even know how long he played the other day, but we've been doing absolutely fine without him this season, so it's not really that big a deal at the end of the day. But my actually thing with Thiago as well is that people, a lot of our fans act like he's great whenever he plays for us. Whenever he's fit, he's fantastic. That's the biggest myth going, That's actually the biggest. Like G said, right? He's been here This is his fourth season at the
Right,
club.
wait for this. Go on.
Right, this is his fourth season at the club. But let's not count this
Uh-huh.
season because he's played 5 minutes, right?
Mm.
So let's count the 3 previous seasons. First season he joined shit. Let's just be honest with it. Obviously, he
Well, you
played
think his
second half
you
of the
think his
season.
performances weren't good during that season, not his
No, for
not
the
being
quality
available.
of
All right,
for the
Fez.
quality of
Fez.
player he is absolutely not. And people, what I hate about that season as well.
Hey, Darko,
Right,
that's
we
wild.
just won the league, right? The previous
real
season,
well.
we were supposed to sign. Obviously, he was injured for the first half of that season because of that Richarlison tackle. I get that, innit? I get that. It was a bad tackle. He was injured, fine. But second half of that season, he was shit, bro. We were top of the league at Christmas that year. He comes back around New Year. He's shit for the rest. He's shit then. We go on a bad run of form. And then at the end of the day, and Thiago, and people act like Thiago, oh, he was so good towards the end of that season. He was so influential in us getting top 4. But Thiago Alcantara joined a title-winning team and was supposed to be that guy to make sure we dominate. Do you get what I mean? Make sure we win the league again. Do you get what I mean? Not get us top 4. Do you get what I mean? So that's my issue with it at the end. That's one of my issues with it. You guys gassing him for, oh, he was influential in us getting top 4. But bro, that's not what he was brought in for. We just won the league. He was brought in to help us win the league again. And yeah, he was influential in us getting top 4. Mind you, he was one of the ones who was also influential in us getting into that position where we actually had to fight for top 4 because he was shit for a lot of that season when he played in it. He was meaty, bro. Meaty. And then we get into the second season where whenever he played, he was actually really good. He was probably one of our most important players. He did show how good he was in that second season he was at the club when we were going for the quad. The problem is I'm pretty sure he only played 17 league games that season. So yeah, our record with him in the team was great because he was outstanding that season when he played, but he only played 17 league games. So that was the season where injuries was the problem at the end of the day with Thiago. And then we got into the third season. He actually played a lot more than what people think up until February. He played a lot more. He played a lot of games until February, you know, until he got injured. But he was shit in that period. People acted like Thiago was playing well last season up until he got injured in February. Bro, he was shit, bro. He was shit. I saw it, bro. This is when I considered that people. You know why people thought he was good? Because he was playing with Henderson and Fabinho and Elliott. He's miles.
Oh,
Of
so you
course, he's
reckon
gonna
because
look
of the
better than
quality,
those
because he
guys.
looks better than the midfielders around him?
Yeah, of course he's gonna look
Best
better
of a
than those
shipper.
guys. Of course he was, but he still wasn't good. He still wasn't anywhere near good enough at the end of the day.
Realize, yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, Ryan. Realize, brother has got 3 pages of injuries on transfer market.
That
As
is
I'm
crazy.
looking now,
That's
Donny's
mad.
got 3, and the 3, and it's so mad. Like that, you guys go through it whenever. Yeah, it's so mad. I'm looking at all the injuries. He's basically had mad injuries every single year since the 2012-2013 season. He's literally had mad injuries every single year. I'm talking. I don't even know what a syndesmotic ligament tear is. He was out for 34 games in that one. A horse kiss. He was out.
Wait, what the hell is a horse kiss? And how long was he out for?
That was only one game he missed for that one itself. But then what sucked about that is he got a horse kiss, which put him out for 1 game. So it's 4 days.
Bro,
basically,
this guy is making
for
doctors discover new injuries, bro. What the fuck, man?
Bro, that was from March the 20th, 2014 to March the 24th for the 4 days. Then on March the 31st of that same year, he then gets a knee medial ligament tear, which then keeps him out for a dumb amount of time. Like, as in, this is all coming up to 2015.
I'm fighting this comment, bro.
For what you mean, for months?
Yeah, I'm
This
fighting.
one. All right, let me just say that. Make sure you
Big
guys
up
subscribe
Months,
to
man.
Big
Big
Sis
up, man.
Man's. Pick on my dumb months every time. Months, if you want the link, let me know as well. Clock to Blame also playing him as a lone DM in that season. So I'm not. You lot will know which season he's talking about. I don't know which season in particular, but go on, Ryan. I know you want to
I'm not
respond
having
to this.
this right. It's his first season. No one else talking about his first season.
Okay,
where we finished third or something in the last final day of the season, right? Yeah, Klopp did play him as a lone DM for some time, but at the end of the day, I'm sorry, he was not showing that much quality in the football. It's the same criticism I had of McAllister earlier in the season, flawless. What was I saying? I don't blame Alexis McAllister for his lack of defensive ability because
fair.
that's not him.
You did
That's
say
on
that.
Klopp.
You did say
But
that.
what I was blaming McAllister for was what he was performing on the ball at the end of the day, which I thought wasn't good enough. It's the same thing with Thiago that season in that lone DM role. I didn't really get onto him that much for his defensive performances because that's not him. But he was meaty on the ball. For a player of his quality, he was meaty on the ball. And he can still show that. But he didn't. That's why I was getting onto Thiago. That's why I get onto Thiago for that season as well. Bro, you're supposed to be Thiago Alcantara, one of the best midfielders in the world. You weren't showing anywhere near that level that season. I'm sorry, if you're Thiago Alcantara and you're playing lone DM at home to Burnley and Brighton that season, you can still perform, you know. You should still perform against those teams in that position. I'm sorry, bro. It's the same. It's the same excuses people have for Enzo Fernandez. Oh, he's not being played in his right position. No, how about just criticize him as well for not performing? Same thing I have for Thiago that season. At the end of the day, that's the thing, bro. I'm just sick of the excuses get made for Thiago, the bigging up of our fans for him. What's this guy done for our football club apart from help us win an FA Cup? What has this guy done for us?
League Cup?
Why are you guys
If he
Why are
plays well
you
in that.
guys standing a guy who all he's contributed to this club is help us win an FA Cup? That's literally all he's done. Because that League Cup, yeah, he did not play a single minute of League Cup football that season. He got injured in the warm up for that final. Remember? He didn't play.
Oh
a
yeah,
single
for real.
minute.
You man got injured in the final. Like, that's
Yeah,
how
man got
you get
injured in
injured
the
in the
warm
warm
up
up,
for the
bro?
final. You know, all he's done
That's
is
so
contribute to
mad.
us helping us win an FA Cup. And you know what? You know what pissed me off? I saw this tweet the other day, and I quote tweeted it right. Who's had a better Liverpool career, Naby Keita or Thiago? It's Naby Keita by an absolute country
it's Naby
fucking
Keita,
mile, bro. Country mile, and yet Naby Keita gets disrespected by most Liverpool fans. It's disgusting, bro. Naby Keita was actually fit for more time than Thiago, and actually helped us and actually contributed way more to this football club than what Thiago Alcantara's done. Way fucking more than what Thiago's done, bro. And yet all I was seeing in the comments under that post was Thiago 100%, it's Defo Thiago, all that bullshit, bro. You man have agendas.
Well,
You
Mons
man have
goes on to
agendas.
say, he
It's this
says,
people
this
can't
was
accept
you.
that Thiago has been a flop. They
He
can't
says, on
accept
the
that we signed a great midfielder and he's been a flop. He's been a flop.
he's
Deal with it. Get him out of the club.
saying on the ball he was fine, off the ball he was
No, he
horrific.
wasn't.
He
He was
says
meaty
Matt
on
gave
the ball.
away 5-yard passes. Thiago was dictating when he had the ball. Thiago
Dictating us
has
losing at
never
home to
dictated.
Burnley, Brighton, Chelsea, all these teams, bro. Everton, dictating us in those. Ah, man, this guy was meaty that season, bro. I don't care.
All right, Thursday, you lot continue to run up the likes, people, man. I'm sure this will continue because he's saying he never dictated on his own, though. So he's saying that as Thiago, obviously, I didn't watch Thiago like that when he was at Barca. Has he ever been a single six? Has he ever played that role before? I'm asking. I genuinely don't know.
Nah, Bayern wasn't he? Wasn't he next
more on a
to
double
Kimmich
pivot.
and
Like,
was it
Hey,
Goretzka?
you'll know this better, and you as well. I know you'd be watching ball outside of the Premier League as well. So more so, did he at any point, G?
when we say yes, there were moments at times, but to give it like, oh, was he always playing there? Nah. He was always in a double pivot, give or take 90% of the time, to be honest. And especially with the way that Bayern play, I think people might get it twisted because they'll see it when you watch clips of him. And if you watch the games, you'll see him always being the one to pick up the ball from the centre backs or from the goalie. But that's not because he's playing a lone six. It's just because of how they've got their double pivot pattern. Whoever it is, Kimmich, whoever it would have been at the time, that's just how they have it patterned, is that he's the one to pick up the ball. The other one's going to be the one to just kind of make sure everything else is almost clear the path for you to be able to do your thing, you know, kind of thing. Whether that is he gets forward, whether that is he sits back or whatever. But nah, he was always more in a double pivot. And I think that's why it always worked with Thiago, because defensively, last season, and I think Ryan's right. Last season, people were like, yeah, but he's like our best defender in the midfield. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, it's like you're talking about a midfield that had Fabinho and Hendo in there. Like, of course, he is going to probably turn out to be the best player in there because they're so just far gone with whatever it is that they're doing that anything even remotely better always is going to look good. It's always going to look good because it's just better than what you have. That's why I don't even gas up this season midfield, because I'm like, it's difficult to judge it when last season was so bad. I would still need to see this team maybe for another season to really give it a judge, because I'm like, bro, we're coming off such a poor season. To say that it's so much better, I'm like, well, that's a bit skewed because the team was so shit last season. So anything Man could have bought Conor Gallagher, and I promise you, probably would have been still better than what we currently have now anyway. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, man. People go over the top. Ryan's right. People disrespect Naby Keita. 100%, I agree with that. So, yeah, man, it is. Like I said before, bro, he's in the Oxlade-Chamberlain thing, bro, where I'm just like, oh,
Bro, you're
okay,
disrespecting Oxlade-Chamberlain now as well, bro. He contributed way more to this club than what Thiago's
Oh,
done as well,
here we
bro.
go, yo, here we
Bro,
go. Go on, right.
Oxlade-Chamberlain had good performances when the season we won the title, bro. I remember.
When I say here we go, Ryan, I'm not questioning you on this because I didn't watch Thiago like that. So that's why I'm leaving you and G to, you know what I'm saying, give your opinions on this. And I'm just asking questions in regards to it because I'm not watching Thiago as much as you lot. So I don't know about these seasons like that. And Jez is saying it's a fluid double pivot. But yeah, go on, say what you're saying, Ryan. So you think Ox has done way more than Thiago in a Liverpool shirt?
Oh, yeah, that's not a debate either. That's not a debate at all. He's done way more for this football club than Thiago. Bro, people forget, Oxlade-Chamberlain had actual good performances in the season we won the title. He actually had some good performances. Go back and watch the games, bro. He scored a few goals. We won the title. Started some games. Yeah, Oxlade-Chamberlain's contributed way more. Yes. People could cry about it, but yes.
And big up to my Don De Niro says the disrespect on Thiago as well. I don't think it's a disrespect.
He's done nothing for my football club.
Yeah, I don't think it's a talent thing, De Niro. I don't think man are doubting his talent. It's just more so what he's actually done at Liverpool, which is not a lot because he's just not played.
That's what I said when I said about him. I said when we talk about him as a player, man can't chat to me about him as a player. Him as a player is better than your favorite's favorite. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
even when he's played, he's not been that great.
No. He's not been great in totality. I definitely agree. But when he has been good, he's been really, and you can tell. Like,
he had that one season where he was really good when he played. I ain't even knocking him for that. Like, he was sick.
Yeah.
Let me see his numbers. Let me actually have a look at his numbers.
You don't want to see
his numbers ain't going to tell you anything. That guy don't score.
Nah, I just actually want to know. No. When I say his numbers, I mean appearances.
Oh, you mean his appearances?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about in regards to it. Like, I just want to see 1 second.
Yeah. Big up, gents. It's literally that. It's like it almost comes to that Pogba thing where you're like, brother, I know you are super duper talented, bro.
Yeah.
Obviously, Pogba with his own whatever situation.
That was it with Pogba. That was always my biggest criticism for people like, oh, Pogba this, Pogba that. I said this the entire time. My biggest criticism of him when he was here, you didn't play enough. The ability was there, and you showed people will hate. Even though you was misprofiled and played next to players you shouldn't have been playing with and playing in certain positions, should never have been the case, people. But like in Sarcasm City TV fashion, people, for those that watch wrestling, it's like a Royal Rumble, man. You never know who's gonna show up, man. Surprise! Don't know whose music's gonna hit when that clock hits 0 and they come running down the ramp to their entrance music. So we got big hits bands. You might see him on a TV screen near you doing McDonald's advert in a McDonald's advert. My like Monty's in the building. Yes, family. What are you telling me?
Welcome. I'm Thiago Alcantara's attorney, and I'm obviously here to make some statements.
Big up, my G.
Good to make some statements. G, good to see you as always. Ryan, good to see you as always. I'm here to make some home truths. Now, what I'm going to say quickly is that, first of all, G and Ryan, I understand your frustrations, and a lot of what you guys said is actually true, for one. But there was also false narratives that have been kind of said. I feel like that we're going over the top with. To say that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, the likes of Naby Keita, have done more than Thiago is absolutely absurd, especially in the Premier League. If we're talking all competitions and outside the Premier League, I can understand Ox's run in the Champions League before we got the knee injury. That's something I can look at. Ox's performances in some of the group stages, I can look at those as well. I can also look at some of Ox's runs in the cup competitions, such as, the domestics, the FA Cup, the Carling Cup. First of all, Thiago was never played in the cup competitions because Klopp didn't take them seriously in the times that he was there. Naby Keita and Ox weren't good enough to start for Liverpool. That's why they were playing in the domestic cup competitions. So that's why their appearances have more weight in those competitions. But if we look at the Premier League, Oxlade-Chamberlain has been in the Premier League a season longer than Thiago, and actually has less minutes played, 400 less minutes played actually, and more appearances, and quite a lot of those appearances were actually off of the bench. Oxlade-Chamberlain has actually started less games than Thiago in the Premier League.
That's
great. I'm looking here. Thiago is 24 appearances, 25 appearances. That's his first 2 seasons. 18 last season, and then the one this season.
Now, again, flawless. It is a misconception. It is a misconception that this man never plays. But he, again, of recent, yes, it's been really bad. But in terms of the first season, the second and the third season, Thiago's played games for Liverpool, bro.
24-25 is it's not
like he's played
good.
games for Liverpool. Naby Keita was at Liverpool for 5 seasons and has played 700 minutes less than Thiago Alcantara. So there's a reason why Naby Keita gets the slander he gets. So that's another point proven wrong for the Naby Keita stuff that you guys just mentioned, or that Ryan mentioned, because G didn't say that. The Naby Keita thing is wrong. As for the McAllister comparisons, McAllister was losing. We haven't criticized McAllister for him being shit defensively because he's not a 6. He's not a lone 6. So we don't criticize him for that. What I criticize McAllister for is the lapsadaisical mistakes that lead to errors, that lead to goals. Being caught on the ball, the 5-yard passes straight to the opposition. If you don't believe me, go watch the Brighton game. Go watch 2-2. Go watch the Brighton game and you'll see exactly what I mean. Go watch the Wolves game. Not the Wolves game, sorry. The Bournemouth game. Go watch any of those games. The first 7-8
it was the Wolves game.
Go watch
that Wolves first half. Oh my days, that was.
He got taken off. Yeah, he got taken off.
No, that Wolves first half was hard to watch, especially for Joey G, because that's kind of before he kind of hit form in it. But McAllister was doing things on the ball that was actually making me fight atoms in the air, innit? It was making me beef air particles in it. Yeah. Thiago Alcantara, when he came in that first season, up until that knee injury, and Ryan, this is what I said, you was absolutely correct of that. The knee injury offed him, innit? It offed him because before that he was looking disgusting. Like literally a carbon copy of what we saw at Bayern Munich. Why? Because Fabinho still had his legs. You know what I'm saying? These men could still kick ball. They just won the league. But then when he came back and everyone was injured, it is Klopp's fault for deploying this man as a lone DM. Like, who signs a player? And G said, if you look back at his injury record, from 2012, this man has been injury prone for the last 11 years.
That's mad.
12 years, actually. He has been injury prone for 12 years. How dare you deploy this man as a lone DM in the most athletic, intense league in the world?
With one of the most intense teams.
Worst manager. And listen, I love Jurgen Klopp to bits. That guy is the father I've never had. I'm Jamaican. I'll tell you that right now. But that is one of the worst managing decisions. You play Thiago Alcantara, injury prone for 12 years of his career. Well, it wasn't 12 years at the time. It was like 8 years. But even though 8 years injured, 8 years injury prone, and you deploy him back from a knee injury in a lone 6 against man like Decore and that. The Decores, the Will Hugheses of the league. Them man there. Are you fucking mad? That is horrific management. No wonder he looks shit. Play any ball playing maestro as a lone DM in the Prem with shit midfielders. You're gonna look crap.
That's true.
You are going to look shy. When Pogba, I can understand because Pogba is 6'2" or 6'3". So man is actually built like a DM. I don't care how graceful he is. I don't care how good he is with the ball at his feet. I don't care how good his range of passing is. That guy is actually built.
And that's why he was misprofiled. That's the crazy part. Because he was 6'3".
But you can still be 6 foot and play 8 and whatever in it. Man just wanted him to be a DM so bad it just didn't work in it. But at the end of the day, Gravenberch is built like a DM, but he's not no DM. You know what I'm saying? He's not no DM, is he? You get what I'm saying? So again, Thiago was misprofiled. That's not Thiago's fault. Now, off the ball, this guy was getting yellow cards within the first 5 minutes of about that season when he came back.
I remember that.
About. Thiago was getting yellow cards within the first 5 minutes of every game for like 8 games in a row. I remember. I was like, anyone who puts money on Thiago getting a card, he's gonna lunge into a tackle at every moment. He can't even help himself. Like, even though he's injury prone, he actually gets stuck in. He gets stuck in. For someone who knows he's gonna get injured, it's like when Flawless goes, when Mont says he's not going to pass to you, don't worry, his instinct's going to kick in, he's going to do it anyway.
Facts. Clubs,
his instinct kicks in and he dives into tackles. So for someone who dives, if you know a player dives into tackles and he's injury prone and he's never played lone 6 in his entire career, in fact, he's only played advanced 8 and 10, and at most, the deepest position is in the pivot, why the hell would you put him there on his own in the most intense league in the world? And you're telling me that's not the manager's fault? That is the manager's fault. Yeah? I'm just not hearing, listen, Thiago hasn't fulfilled his time, but he was 20 million. The reason I don't call him a flop is because he's 20 million. If people call him a flop, I'm not going to argue you down for it because of the ability. I understand it. You're calling him a flop because of the ability. And no, he wasn't bought to get us top 4. He was bought to retain the title. But we were also very unfortunate with injuries. I believe Liverpool stay fit. Thiago doesn't even need to step out of stride. Thiago is not the man you rest your laurels on. At Barcelona, he was not the man they rested their laurels on. At Bayern Munich, I don't care if he won them that Champions League. He was not the man they rested their laurels on. He wasn't. He always had a partner. He's Goretzka, Tolisso, Kimmich. He's always had a partner or Busquets behind him. So I was
gonna say, Mons, do you think then, as Liverpool fans, the way because I think you mentioned this before. I think you mentioned this in your video when Thiago got injured again. That's because Thiago is the first world-class, quote-unquote, signing that we've ever had under Jurgen Klopp. So the pressure from fans is like, oh my days, we just bought this world-class player. So obviously, because we've got him, he should be doing everything basically. You play 60 games and you do all of this, do all of that.
You know what it is as well? I think that what hurts is because when he had his first 3 games for Liverpool, he was what we saw. It's not like he came in and it's like we had to give him 5-6 games and then he'll arrive in it.
Well, that Chelsea game,
no one here was saying, Thiago's loading. No. He stepped on the pitch and broke the record straight away. Straight away.
Yeah, that game
he came on a half time and was immediately the best midfielder on the pitch. And that was a good Chelsea side. Chelsea weren't done out at these times. Chelsea were not done out these times, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember they just introduced that dead offside. Remember when we drew to when Mane's arm was offside in the game that the injuries.
Oh yeah.
When Van Dijk got the ACL, bro. I'm telling man that now, like Thiago was never loading. He stepped on the pitch and was world class instantly. So, of course, the expectations are going to be mad. My expectations are for him still to step on the pitch and be the best player now. Right now, if he stepped on the pitch fit, you think I'm giving man 2-3 games to get into the stride of football?
No.
You're that good at football. We can all say you're that good at football. You don't need 5 games to click into kill like Ox does. Ox took 6-7 games to then go, oh yeah, okay, that's why he still plays for Liverpool. You'll see him do something and go, yeah, Ox, you've got a little something in the tank. Or Naby would have to play 3 Champions League games, come off the bench on the league to play 30 minutes, and then start the next game to look good. That's what them man would have to do. And still be as injury prone as Thiago, with not even a speck of the talent that he possesses in his left toe. Listen, I'm as angry at Thiago. Bro, I'm as angry at Thiago as Ryan is. Trust me. But let's not do the reactionary thing and go, he weren't even that good at certain times. Because if this was to happen to McAllister, Touchwood, people would say McAllister was shit. And he was shit the majority of time this season. When really, McAllister's actually had a 50-50 season.
Yeah, very 50-50.
And now he's been good. There was literally
no with that about McAllister.
Yeah, that McAllister was shit. And then he pulled his socks up. And the only thing I'll say about McAllister is that he doesn't need to be the mad. He surprised me with his defensive work last 4 games, but he shouldn't even have to do that. He shouldn't need to do that. He should be playing the Thiago role, not like with the swagger that Thiago does it, because not every Thiago is his own Thiago in it. No one's ever gonna play the game like he does, which is another reason why us Liverpool fans are like what G said. We're so disappointed. Donny is the best player we've signed in probably, I'm not even Premier League era, bro. Who's a better well-made? I'm not talking about how good we've made a player. In terms of a signing on paper, they've walked through the door. Who is a better player in the Premier League era than Thiago?
He's definitely the best I've seen in terms of player we signed.
Like, I'll go last 15, 20 years. I ain't seen Liverpool sign a ready-made player better than Thiago.
Yeah, I haven't. I'll be honest.
Yeah, you know what it is? I think, especially when we look at like the Oxlade-Chamberlain thing, I think the reason why I'll put him, why I always treat him like that in terms of the way I speak about him is because, unfortunately, with all that ability or whatever, the team has ended up just moving past what you even bring to the team. So as great as he is, as talented as he is, like I said, if he's fit, bro, we already know he's starting, blah, blah, blah. But cool, he's not fit or whatever. The team has now moved past what you even bring to the team. So what you now are going to bring is that, yes, you are a bonus. You're sick. It's just added. It's the icing on the cake. That's the word I'm looking for.
And I get
it's the icing on the cake. But that's why I use that. Not to say, come on, bro. Not you specifically. I know people in the chat more so. Not to compare the two a bit, bro. Like Monster said, bro. Like what that ability, even in his left toe, maybe even the toenail. If you're being kind, do you get what I'm trying to say? Because Thiago is of. That's why I say when we talk about Thiago, the player ability wise, I won't have that. That's not a conversation I'll entertain because certain man can't even, like I said, your favorite's fave cannot even chat to him ability-wise. But when we're talking about him at his time at Liverpool, I'm just like, you've now moved past where I'm like, I'm not even looking at the team and saying, yeah, stick Thiago in there. I'm like, I mean, you can stick him in there if you want, but I'm not banking on him being there and it's going to elevate my game too tough. Like,
I think you're saying that because whatever he's going to do is not going to last.
Yes, you're true. True.
You know what I'm saying? If someone guarantees you, all right, for the last 15 games of the season, Thiago is guaranteed going to be fit. You're playing Thiago. Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Ryan, are you? Let me ask you. Yo, Ryan, you there? Yo, is he not even there? No worries. I'm gonna ask him that when he gets back. Oh, he is there. Yo, Ryan. Yeah. So if you could, let's say like what Buds is saying, hypothetically correct, and you can play Thiago. He's fit. And he's going to play. He's available to play the rest of the Premier League games. Are you playing him?
And there's no issue with him settling into the team in terms of getting back.
Yeah, there's no. We know injuries. We know we don't know about his ability in regards to whether he's going to play well or not. But you can play him. He's available. He's there.
Yeah, I'd probably play him. Yeah.
Nah. This is paracetamol. I got headaches.
I thought someone was grinding something, but yeah, that's what right. And that's my point in it. Like
I would play him if that was the case.
We put him in your ability is a bonus because we don't know how long the bonus is gonna last. It's like a power up in a video game. You've got the star. You know that shit's lasting 20 seconds, bro.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
but when you get the star, you're invincible, right?
Yeah, right? Of course. Yeah.
When you get
like Crash Bandicoot like Crash Bandicoot when he had the mask put on.
Yeah.
You get the RQ mask. You get the RQ mask, and you're doing what you want. You do the world's your A-star, and that's what I believe is that we treat him as a bonus because we know the ability is not going to last. No one is obviously going to guarantee fitness, but again, I'm glad the team has moved on without Thiago anyway. That's a testament. That's a testament to the team. I once the Liverpool I remember is not being able to score goals about Daniel Sturridge.
I remember them time. Man had no real strikers. Yeah, Sterling up top.
Them times were
Sterling and Coutinho. Sterling up top, Coutinho second striker because Sturridge wasn't fit enough to be there. You know what I'm saying? And the rest of the man couldn't do nothing else. So and we had to look at take a big risk on a player like Origi because he didn't. You know what I'm saying? Even though he did hit form eventually. So the thing is that he's used as the bonus now, and you could kind of even see that even probably the players in the camp, if you probably ask anyone in Liverpool training, the second this guy stepped back on the pitch, he was probably the best technical player there.
But we saw the training video. We saw the training video.
We saw what we needed to see in it. So it's frustrating because what we have right now, I believe, I can't say with my chest, what we have in midfield is good enough to win the league. Yeah?
First.
But what I can say is what we have in midfield plus a fit Thiago is good enough to win the league. But the fitness, the probability of him being fit is so low, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter. Because if you're not there, if you're like, this is where I have to put my Thiago hat down and go, well, if you're not there, bro, you're not bringing nothing. We're not benefiting. Like Arsenal with Partey, Arsenal with Diaby, Liverpool with Sturridge, and Arsenal with Cazorla. If you're not there, bro, we don't need you for moral support no more. Unfortunately, moral support, hugging Darwin Núñez ain't gonna solve the woes. Yeah, because there's times where we need someone to turn out of trouble. We want to give someone the ball when they're around 3 players. We need X factor. Yeah, and when it comes to X factor, that's what gets you over the line. And Thiago is one of the players that has X factor. Salah, X factor. Van Dijk, Trent, Alisson, X factor. Those are the 5 players in our team that have X factor. Yeah. And we've had to sit and watch one rot in the injury room because he was misprofiled in his first season. I generally believe that. It's that it got worse because he was misprofiled. The second you put him in a pivot with Fabinho, he would, what happens? Liverpool go unbeaten. Wasn't it? Liverpool didn't won every single game for a disgusting amount of games. Don't you guys remember the stat? Every game Fabinho started in the pivot. I don't think we lost the game in like 30 games. And we won
the record was mad. It was.
That was a disgusting record. You see what I'm saying? Like the proof's in the pudding, but unfortunately, again, me with my bias, I wouldn't say he's a flop because of the price tag. He's 20 million. And it was also on a per season basis. We didn't even pay the 20 million up front. We paid 5 mil a season. But unfortunately, go on. Sure. No, but unfortunately, this season we've had to pay Thiago. Unfortunately, this season we've had to pay. We've had to pay Thiago. What was the stat? It was, I think it's for this month alone. Yeah, per minute he's got paid 40k per minute that he's played for Liverpool this month. Yeah, I've got one more as well. Watch this.
That's actually mad when you think about 40k per minute. Man, I playing 5.
Watch this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I need that paracetamol as well, you know.
Yeah, my head is pounded. That's why I had to go and get it.
He gets 800k a month in it, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, 800k a month. So this season he's been paid 5.6 mil this season, I believe, in wages.
Look at that.
Yeah, he's been paid 5.
Man's not even touched it.
Obviously, it's 800k a month. Times that by 7. It's like what? Yeah, it's 5.6 million. Yeah. Let's divide that 5.6 million by how many minutes he played? 5?
6. But 6 minutes technically. Yeah.
Yeah, let's divide that by 5. He's been paid 1.1 million per Premier League minute. 1.12 million per Premier League minute.
This is why we can't sign him to a new deal come the end of the season. Yeah. That right there is the reason why.
He's touched the ball 10 times in the Premier League. So for every Premier League touch this season, Thiago has made £560,000. Anyway, guys, that's my cameo done. I'm gonna go back to filling out head sheets for my auditions. Take care, guys. Let's hope we get the job tomorrow.
Good luck.
Good luck because I've been mad busy. I need to message you back. Ryan, good to see you.
All off.
Fuck you.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Hey, I love you too, and I'll see you on clubs. You know what I'm saying? And that. See how I get treated, people. You know what I'm saying? Big up Months every time. Big up Months. Hey, you lot, make sure you subscribe to Big Six Months again. Make sure you subscribe to G's channel. Link is in the title. We will be going live straight after this, people, straight to the Man United podcast. So myself and Eddie be talking more Manchester United, but solely Manchester United. And then we'll be going from there to the gaming channel. And then we're on playback now. For those that don't know, all you NBA heads, everyone who watches the NBA watch-alongs, download the playback app, people. Download the playback app. I will be giving away NBA League passes, people. So, your opportunity to get one. So the first 5 people who join the membership at the top tier, Sarcasm City General, will get an NBA League pass for the rest of this month and the rest of next month. And then what I'm going to do this month as well is everyone who super chats, is going to go into a raffle. I'm going to give away 3 NBA League passes because you see how we do watch-alongs like this, people. On playback, the game will be on behind us. So we'll all be synced up, so there'll be no spoilers. That's how the play. We ran a game yesterday when the Lakers got beat up by the Nuggets. Myself, Jez, a few of the people were in the chat as well. And if you do have an NBA League Pass, the Lakers are awful. You can join playback, and then you can just use the League Pass that you have, people. Yes, Lakers Pelicans. That's what we're doing. Yes, and Warrior J, he did. You see how I get treated by people? It's crazy. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And Time to Shine, he was in the chat. Yeah, big up Months every time. It's lit, you guys. The playback's fire, trust, because we had the game on behind us, so we can just commentate on the game. And like I said, no spoilers. And if you have, and like I said, I'm going to give away some NBA League passes as well. So if you join the membership at the top level, first 5 people, you get the membership. You'll get a League pass for this month and next month. So I'm going to do a raffle in regards to super chats as well. I'm going to have to upload the video onto here at some point, probably over the weekend as well. Let's see, is there anything else that we missed? Well, people have mentioned it. Andy says here, do you think what Xavi Alonso is doing is crazy? His club has scored 90 goals, 14 more than Bayern and same as Liverpool, but with 6 less games. Let me flip that though, because that is very, very impressive. However, Xavi Alonso, would you take him, G? And it's the same to you, Ryan, as well. Same question to you. Next season as your manager? Or is it dependent on what he does with Leverkusen? Or have you already seen enough for you? So get him in.
I'll let Ryan answer first.
Yeah, go on, Ryan.
At the moment, he would probably be my first choice to replace Klopp in it, just because I think he probably ticks the most boxes. But what impresses me the most about him is that we can only, with Xabi Alonso, our only evidence of him as a manager at the end of the day at this level is what he's doing at Leverkusen at the end of the day, really. Let's be honest. That's our only evidence. So if we're going by that evidence, what impresses me the most about him is that he doesn't really, from what it seems, he doesn't really need time. You know, like how people say, oh, this manager will need, it's a project, he'll need 3 years or something like that to get to whatever level, etc. What's impressed me about Alonso is he took over a team second bottom of the Bundesliga in the mud, and a year later has them top of the league and unbeaten in all competitions this season. I think it's 26 wins and 4 draws in all competitions this season in only a year, to be honest. Like, that's a mad turnaround. That's a mad kind of trajectory. So that's what impresses me the most. And I could imagine him, if you think about what he's done there, imagine if he would come to Liverpool inheriting a miles better team, you know, a team that's already, currently at the top of the league, who in my opinion could potentially go on and win the league. People might disagree, that's just my opinion. If he takes over that team, he's shown that he doesn't need exactly that much time to kind of implement what he wants. So that's what impresses me the most about him, to be honest with you. So yeah, he would be my first choice, to be honest with you. So yeah.
Okay, so you're already convinced then because of what he's been doing. All right, that's fair. So obviously him winning the Bundesliga
but him
and
winning
the
the
Europa League
Bundesliga would be like a massive thing as well, because that would put him in so much of a better position. So that would put him in a great position to be our manager then, 100%.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. G, I'm not sure if you're there, but same to you.
Yeah. No, I'm just doing that. But yeah, he's not my first choice, but I am definitely not going to bat an eyelid if he was to come in. I think what he is doing is very, very impressive. And everything basically that Ryan said there in terms of, when he took over from the previous manager who was obviously there at Leverkusen, what he's done this season, of course, he's showing everything that he's about in terms of being a manager. I just... the only thing for me that he's got in his locker over other managers that you might pick is that he used to be a Liverpool player. I think that's where, and in regards to that, that's where he'll get given more time than another guy. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because people will be like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Let's, man, not going to get onto him and all that kind of stuff. Like when he loses 3 games in a row, for example, or he loses 2 games on the bounce, man might just not get onto him like they would De Zerbi, for example, because they'll be like, oh, this, that, and the third. So that's where he gets in the head of other managers. But yeah, he's not my top pick, if I'm being honest. I still feel at the end of the day, bro, like the pool of managers are not really popping like that. Like, so man's really just picking from like the same bunch. Like, they are good managers, but none of them are like world class or top class managers. They're just, these are new managers. So if you're just lucky that and one is able to come to your club, you'll pick from the bunch that's available. And he's just in that De Zerbi bunch. He's in that Amorim bunch. He's in that bracket kind of thing. But maybe for me, he's probably still at the lower end of that bracket purely on experience. But listen, you go and win the Europa League, Bundesliga, the DFK, whatever it's called, Pokal. Yeah, if he wins all of that, maybe he jumps to the top of that list.
Pokal because Bayern Munich are out of that competition, so he's probably favourite to win that. To be honest.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you're right. Right. So cool. Win that, then I'm putting you at the top. But yeah, you're still in that same bracket with all of these guys. It's just, for me, I just think the style of football will be better with De Zerbi. I just think De Zerbi's style of football, the way that he plays, is more transferable for Liverpool and won't have to change too much. I don't feel like Alonso's style is going to necessarily suit, and I think not that he won't be able to do it. It's just It's just going to maybe take a bit more for that style to be implemented. Whether they do it, that's another question. They might be able to.
I think G made a great point about the fact that Alonso's probably the only manager who can come in who would get patience with a lot of the fans in terms of whoever replaces Klopp. It's an unfair position for the any new manager to be in replacing Klopp, because it's such a big person to replace, and it's a painful one at the end of the day, because we all love Klopp, we all got such an attachment to him, we don't want to see him go. So whoever comes in is going to have such a hard job at the end of the day. It's a bit unfair on that guy, but Alonso's probably the only one who you can think of who can come in and it'll be the best for him in terms of like he'll get the most leeway out of all these. He'll get patience. Do you get what I mean? Whereas others probably won't, because like Xabi Alonso's got an attachment to the fans at the end of the day and the club. So that's a great point G made, to be honest with you. That's why I say Xabi Alonso probably ticks the most boxes in terms of replacement for Klopp, to be honest. That's just my opinion. So yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough.
There you live, bro.
What I like about it as well is that I can't think of a player who, in my opinion, who has had a better footballing education than Xabi Alonso. If you think about it, he's played as a player under Carlo Ancelotti, Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, and those three. Am I thinking of someone else as well? So he's played under three, Rafa as well, but Rafa isn't in those classes. But Rafa's still a top manager. That's what, and three of those managers who I've mentioned are three of the greatest managers we've ever seen. He's played under three goals at the end of the day, and under Rafa Benitez as well as a top manager. So like that's a great footballing education in my opinion. So that's why I think another reason why he seems to be a very good manager as well. So yeah.
And to Chat Sport, who says, has football become all about managers and systems? Where's all the individual skill gone? Pretty much so, yeah. There is, of course, there's individual skill within those systems with quality players. But until somebody comes along and reinvents the wheel, this is the way it's going to be. So somebody has to do what Pep's done in terms of dominance with Mavericks, and less of a system and just more of individual skill. Whereas now everybody's going the system route because that's what's successful. Who's the last successful team we've seen win a major trophy that didn't have a very, very successful system? Whether it was offensive, whether it was defensive, whether it was more rigid, whether it was a little bit more flexible, it's still like that's what it is. Whether it's Liverpool with Klopp, whether it's City with Pep, like maybe you could say Ancelotti at Real Madrid winning the champs, but again, that's Ancelotti. He's old school, like he's one of the GOATs, like Ryan just mentioned. That's not the norm. Real Madrid, and that's not the norm. The players they had, like a Benzema is just not out there. A Modric just isn't out there. You can't go get two players like that. Like that's not the norm. So copying that method, you gotta have the players and the managers. Like Ancelotti can do that. Don't get him mistaken. But yeah, Ancelotti's the last of a dying breed, and again, he has supreme skill. He's been managing at the top level longer than a lot of people have been alive. Ryan, what year was you born?
1999.
So there we go. So yeah, that stands the point. You know what I'm saying? When Ancelotti was winning Champions League, when Ryan was, in primary school. Now man's grown, driving with a beard in uni. That goes to show the longevity.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
I'm not in uni now.
Well, wasn't, but been uni. You know what I'm saying? Been uni, working man, all that stuff. Drive a car, bid, you don't gamble, of course, but you get the point. You can do that if you like to. You're of legal age to do whatever you want. That's how long his lifetimes he's been around. Like Ancelotti's an exception to the rule. But your Peps and Klopps and even Xabi Alonso, what did G mention? And what did he mention about De Zerbi? The system being transferable over to Liverpool with the players they have. So that's what that is. I know. Did Ancelotti sign an extension? I didn't know that. Still, I didn't know that.
He did. Yeah, he signed an extension, but you got Real Madrid,
I think.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
facts.
But Real Madrid, you can sign an extension. That doesn't really.
Yeah,
all that kind of does is just more. Yeah, it doesn't secure anything. It's just more. If we can't find another manager, at least you're here for this amount of time until that manager is ready to come. Like that's all it really is. Like, I don't say that shit seriously.
Yeah, like that's what it is. But G, always good chopping up with you. Let them know where they can find you, all that good stuff, what you got coming up. You lot, again, links in the title for G's channel. So make sure you subscribe, man. Just click the link in the tab right now. Click the link in the title and it opens up a new tab. Yeah, go on, my G.
Nah, big up Brian, big up Flawless, man. Every time, man. I
Big up,
love these
man.
chats, I love these conversations.
God is that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, nothing really. Obviously, just anything in and around our game against Burnley. Should have a few things. I'm 11 subscribers away from 1K as well. So,
hey, you lot,
if
there's
you
over
haven't
90
subscribed,
in here. Go subscribe to G's channel right now. We're gonna get him to 1K right now. You lot. What we doing, man? There's over 95 people. He's 11 subscribers away. Go subscribe right now. Yeah, go on, carry on, man. G.
Yeah, that's literally it, man. Just really just working. I'm following. I'm taking inspiration from Flawless, man. Do you know what I mean? We see the work you guys all the time on Sarcasm TV, bro. I'll be sitting there. There'll be days like, you know, random days. I don't know, a Wednesday or something. I'm sitting there. I go on my YouTube, maybe I don't know, to watch something. Boom, what happens? I see. Boom, Flawless is on Sarcasm TV. Boom, it's this show. Guys, I don't think you guys understand that Flawless is putting in some serious effing work. It is mad. It is mad.
No,
it is
man.
mad. Donny just told you guys he's got another show starting in 6 minutes after this thing. And then on top of that, we still got NBA to do with. Listen, you guys don't even know, man. Like, so you have to make sure every time you jump into these shows, whether it be this show, whether it be the Man United show he's got coming up next, whether it be the show he's got the Man City. Listen, any show that Flawless does, make sure you're smashing the like, subscribe. That's all we are. Like, we content creators, most of us anyway, we don't ask for a lot, you know. All I'm asking is, you don't even have to turn my notifications on. How about that? Just subscribe to the channel. Just subscribe to the channel. You like it, you can smash that, you know, notification bell. If not, then you just see us, you know, when we pop up online, man. So that's really it, to be honest, man. Just stay tuned. Got a few things coming, and hopefully during the summer as well. I haven't even told Flawless this, and I'm telling them for the first time now. Hopefully during the summer when England do their stuff, hopefully we can all chop it up and, you know, talk the Euros and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. We'll definitely do that. I've got a few ideas in regards to what I'm going to do.
Perfect.
Like the watch alongs, I'll probably do more on the Twitch. I'll probably do England watch alongs here, but like I won't be doing, unless there's some big news breaking in regards to one of our clubs. I'll definitely do something so everybody can come and join and chop it up, because there's going to be a lot to discuss. You know what it's like?
Yeah, there's going to be. Exactly. And we already know England ain't winning. So, you know, there's definitely going to be a lot to chop up regardless. So, yeah, man, honestly, people, just subscribe, stay tuned, and yeah, I'll be back here next week, Friday.
There you go, people. What are you saying, Ryan? Anything you want to
add? Yeah, just, you know, not letting one bad game against Arsenal, you know, not going to throw my toys out of the pram like a lot of people have done after one bad game. You should bounce back tomorrow. Just let Arsenal fans talk in it. Just let them talk, because they'd be saying some wild stuff. They were always going to. Just let them talk, you know, and we'll just wait until they end up bottling it, because we all know it will happen. We all know they'll screw up. We all know they'll collapse. So, yeah, just let them talk. We'll be fine. Yeah, we had one bad game. It happens, you know. We'll be all right. So let's just bounce back tomorrow, innit?
All right, first look at Ryan being all, what's it called? Being all, what's the word I'm looking for? Level-headed about the situation. That being said, Burnley. Yeah, Burnley, Ryan. Prediction.
3-0. 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah.
What are you saying, G?
3-1. Right, you know, Liverpool will be conceding goals. Yeah, I mean, like, so yeah, 3-1 or like, yeah, 3-1. I'll go 3-1 still, but 3-0 it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest with you. It wouldn't surprise me. Just quickly though, before you go, I know you're going to be talking about it on the Man United stream, and I'll head on over there now because I'm going to be up watching. I just finished Raising Canaan, so I'm going to watch something else now.
Oh, jeez. Oh, did you watch the series finale, fam?
Don't ask silly questions, bro. Because I watched the series finale,
that's a stupid question. All right, no spoilers, people.
No spoilers.
Yo, I was jumping up and down in my bedroom watching that ish, man.
All I will say, again, don't want to make no spoilers. All I will say is,
I'm just gonna say, comic book guy from Simpsons, best ending ever.
Cool. Yeah. And what happened in the episode, I had a feeling was going to happen, but I didn't want to believe was going to happen. But we'll talk more anyways. We'll talk more.
We'll definitely talk more. It caught me all by surprise. I didn't know where it was going, and that's why I like that. That's been the best ending probably of a Power series since the last. My favorite before that was Ghost, Tommy, and Kanan in the car. You know what I'm saying? And that when they was gonna
yes.
that's the best series ending I've ever seen up until this one, and there's been some good ones. Power Book 2, the last ending was fire, but in regards to this is the best ending. It's the best ending.
Raising Canaan's the best one overall in totality. I think it trumps. Yeah, I think it just about trumps the original. I think it trumps that one. And what's so great about this one is that they can go for time. Like I said this to my boy, they can go for time with this. Like this isn't like because of the obviously remember this is all before we even knew who Ghost was or Tommy Webb. Yes, so we could go for time, or they could rush it through. But I know 50 Cent, he's a smart and a very calculated guy. He knows he can milk this for ages and ages and ages. Man can have all 10 seasons and we still ain't getting to the ending. So
what were their facts? They could easily do a prequel from characters on this. Then when we get to a certain point, they could do like a continuation, a sequel. They can bring him into Power Book 2, Power Book 4 if they're slightly older. Like,
facts.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, Power Book 3. What I like about it as well, it's 90s, man. It's got that gritty feel. That's what I like about it. It's just more gritty. Like Power, don't get me wrong, number 2 and number 4 are cold. But they have a clean look. You know what I'm saying? In that way.
Yeah, because it's all new and that, like,
because it's modern day, but like just but what cracked me up was Rack in the gold at the start. I was like, look at her in the gold.
Hey, listen, and Rack kind of fire, you know what I'm saying?
Don't mistaken. Rack is like, hey, love Ryan every single time. Man. Rack's like, 100%.
Rack's fire. Heck, even the thing that Kanan's smashing, the one in the dance group, yo, she fire too. Yo, there's a couple fire things in this. Yo, but in saying that, in Tariq's one, yo, all of the things that he's got there, all of them are all fire.
I don't know how you get into his contracts, man. This guy was kissing up on girl the whole time, you know.
Listen. This is why I need to get back into acting, bro. Man need a, you know what I'm saying? But we'll get to that.
Excuse.
I need an excuse.
But love to everyone that has locked in. Let me not forget as well. All the shows on the channel, apart from watch-alongs, are available on audio-only platforms, people. So Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you stream music. If there's a podcast section, type in Sarcasm City TV, because you may just not want to watch on YouTube. Maybe you prefer to listen to audio. Maybe you're cooking, maybe you're cleaning, driving. A lot of people I know be watching, listening at work. Maybe you're traveling. Maybe you just don't want the YouTube app sucking up all your data whilst you're on the move. If you don't have, you know what I'm saying, you don't have an unlimited data pack, whatever the case may be, people. So make sure Spotify, 5-star us and leave us a review. Even if you don't listen on podcasts, big up to all the audio listeners as always as well, though. But even if you don't listen on podcast, on any podcast platform, if you have Spotify, 5-star us and leave us a review. Same with iTunes, Apple Podcasts, all you iPhone users, I believe it's on your phone. Make sure you 5-star us, leave us a review. SoundCloud helps with the follow button as well. But love to everyone that has locked in. Like I said, we will be going live. I'm literally going to click go live right now as we speak for the Man United podcast. So myself and Eddie will be talking all things Manchester United, people. So don't go anywhere because it's going to redirect you straight to there. Again, make sure you subscribe to G's channel. But this has been the Manchester United Liverpool show, Man United podcast, analysis at Anfield podcast, live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Big up for